The day has finally come where the new Wagoneer finally gets a wash. The wife's brought this through a gas station car wash, I think 3 or 4 times, which I think is a mistake, but I mean, clean up okay. Anyway, now it's time for me to put some hands on it. I talked about this in a video, a couple videos back actually, but I traded her 2021, I think is what it was, Wagoneer Series 3 for this 2024 Wagoneer Series 2. And I'll talk later on about why I went from a Series 3 to a Series 2 for her. We got about 2,600 miles on it so far. It got driven up from Iowa, so I had a couple hundred miles when we took delivery of it, but it's been a really great experience so far. I know she loves it. I really like it a lot more than the last one, that's for sure. But we just got home from a road trip and the car just got destroyed. She drives the kids to school every day between running errands, this weekend's activities. Look, even the dogs had their way with it. So this thing is in a dire need of a cleanup here. Back end looks pretty nasty. Yeah, almost 2,700 miles on it. So she's gotten some love over the last few months. These are the old mats from the old one. I had them cleaned up, but is that salt? But she's gotten some use here, and we'll talk about what my initial thoughts are for the first few months of ownership. Most of that's been her. She doesn't feel much of a difference compared to what I do, but I felt it immediately. But for now, let's get her cleaned up. And I thought today would also be a good opportunity to highlight some of the products that I use. I get questions periodically about what my go-to product is for shampoo or interior cleaner. We're gonna talk about that today. I'm a huge fan of basically the entire Adams lineup, so you'll see a trend here. Everything I use, most everything I use, I should say, except for some interior stuff, which I keep in here, is Adams product. I just like the whole lineup is great. The graphene was perfect, I think, so we're gonna use some of that today and we'll talk about it a little bit. We'll get the buckets loaded up. So these are the Obsessed Garage 6-gallon buckets. Stuff's really great. I'm gonna take a little bit of the Adams graphene shampoo. I'm gonna throw it in my wheel bucket. I'm gonna throw it in my wash bucket. Adams Mega Foam, as I prepare for the first step into the foamer here. Answer this. That was a dealership in Florida. Little spoiler alert, we got 4 vehicles coming in this week. That'd be cool stuff. Okay, I got the Adams Mega Foam in here. I just filled it up with the clean water buckets. Just like that. Here's my nozzle. And I'll put this to the side while we work on the wheels. Wagoneer actually sounds pretty good. Goo! So I have some product that I just probably won't buy again, such as like H2O garden gloss, only because I really like graphene CS3 as my drying aid. Sort of, I guess I usually blow dry the car and then use the CS3 as like a secondary drying method, but also a coating. This stuff is supposed to be used as a drying aid, so I think what I'm going to do, because I want to use some of it up, I think I'll use it on the Wagoneer today. So all you do, go panel by panel, spray it, wipe it in as the car is wet. I don't like washing big vehicles. Spray it on the wet car. Let's rub it in. Alright, just like that. And do that around the whole car. So once in a while, if you guys wash your cars very often, or if you get the windshield wet, you'll notice that there's a etched mark from the windshield wipers on the windshield. That's why I don't like to use my wipers. I put on a coating on the glass that anything over really like 10 miles an hour, the water just beads right off. But before I had a chance to do that to this car, the wife had used the wipers, several dozen times. It's winter time in here, and it's made that etch mark in it. So what I'm going to do now is polish the glass a little bit to get the etch mark out of there. Then I'm going to coat it, so she'll be good to go. The DeWalt orbital with some 210 on here. That's enough for the whole windshield there. All this does, again, is helps flatten down the etched parts caused by the windshield wipers, or like any acid rain or anything that sat on the windshield without getting cleaned off. There we go. You can see already that line that was stuck up here from the wipers already gone. That's all it takes. Down here where I didn't polish, I can see there's a little bit of, look in those corners, see a little bit of specks from rain or whatever that's etched its way onto the glass. This area looks and feels great now. Nice and clean, ready for a coating. Okay, so while the glass is as clean as it can be, I'm going to put a coating on it. Grab another fresh towel. This is Adam's glass sealant. They have this version and a graphene version. Put this in crosshatch motion. Probably should use an applicator pad instead of a towel. The towel will absorb most of it. There we go, that's better. It's about 1 to 2 minutes to cure. Stuff does get a little sticky. There we go. That should smooth it out. Sweet. See that etched line right here? I didn't polish this window. See See the line from the wiper back here. That's what I got rid of in the front one. See that as I wipe it? Alright, house run out of time. What's new? So let's get to the inside. I just got sidetracked for the last almost hour and a half trying to get this thing to work properly. I'm vacuuming the inside. I wish I could film it, but it's not a good angle for me to do that at and do a good job. And I noticed that the vacuum is very weak feeling. So I'm like throwing up with this little hose that comes up the wall, then this PVC pipe that goes up along here. Obviously I don't have access to the PVC pipe right through here, so I'm like throwing cable in there, I'm throwing rope. I just threw this macro fitting and I was just getting ready to give up. I was shooting back the other way, and I just went to go put it on. I turned it on to put the vacuum away, and all of a sudden I hear something, whatever was in there, sucked up into. Let's go find out what it was actually. It was something big. I just cleaned this out. I cleaned this bucket out at the Super Bowl party. So let's see how much. Look at all this stuff I was using. I tried using the leaf blower to kind of blow it backwards and stuff. I made sure this is all nice and clean. But this got cleaned out during the Super Bowl party. So everything that's in here is from the car. I bet it was this damn thing. The zip tie. I vacuumed this up right away. I bet it was that. Here's all the crap that was inside the car so far. A lot more to go. Alright, well now I'm glad that the vacuum works properly, because that was not doing a good job for a while there. Before I lose another hour and a half, let's clean these mats so they have time to dry real quick, then I'll go back and vacuum the rest of the car. So floor mats, you can do it just like you do a car. You can either rinse them down first, or you can spray cleaner and scrub that in. I'm just going to rinse these down because there's a lot of stuff on them. Adams rubber mat and liner cleaner. My back hurts. Yep, should have cleaned those an hour ago. I'm gonna keep on vacuuming and then we'll pick it up once I do the inside. Seats and stuff. Spent another 20 minutes working on that vacuum. I think I got the rest of the crap out of there. It was just a lot of stuff. So this is Adams leather interior cleaner. Something I want to use up, because I like the Zano stuff better. This stuff works really good though, just getting rid of grease and oil and stickiness. Spray it on a good amount, work it in. It smells pretty good too. And that's it. If I had a compressed air source for me or available, I would use that to get spray this clear out these little grooves and stuff. I don't. So I'll just do as thorough job as I can with the towel. Stuff will evaporate pretty quickly anyway. Just like that. Once it dries, it gives a nice clean matte finish. No greasy, shiny residue left behind. You don't need a scrub either. You just spray it on and wipe it off. That works decently well. Like scrubbing does a little bit better job. And then just one little pass with it makes a difference. This is why I don't film the interior. It's tough to get the right angles without blocking the camera. Fairly quick. Just because I messed around with the vacuum for so long. Hope Adam comes out with a graphene interior cleaner. Something that smells a little bit nicer. Puts on like a layer of protection, kind of like their CS3 as you use it, you clean it and also put on a layer of protection. That'd be kind of nice. Almost the last thing to do. Windows. Just Adam's glass cleaner. Stuff works really well. Usually leaves behind a nice streak-free, clean window. Just like that. I didn't do any scrubbing on it. I didn't have to squeegee it. I probably would have gotten better results. It's safe on tinted windows, which is big also. Oh, I knew I was going to slip. The trick is to spray, then look right up into it where you just sprayed. That's where you get that chemical sense right in your eyes. This is graphene tire dressing. Usually I would spray the brush here that's working in, but we're in a hurry. So it's going to be one of these numbers. Which works fine, it just gets a little sloppy because you get some of the dressing on the wheel. And you end up putting more on there than you normally would. That's okay, it'll dry. Alright, that took a lot more time than I thought it would. But I got the Wagoneer all cleaned up. Let's give you guys a quick little run around. So again, this is a 2024 Jeep Wagoneer Series 2. I traded a 2021, might have been 2022 actually, Jeep Wagoneer Series 3. Now the difference between the Series 2 and the Series 3, it's basically kind of like when you go up trim levels, like the Corvette, for example, you got the 3LZ, 2LZ, 1LZ, things like that. It's you get more options standard that would otherwise be an option, I guess, on the lower trim. So the Series 2 comes with options that are, I should say, comes standard with options that are optional. I keep saying the word option on Series 1. Series 3 comes standard with features that are optional on Series 2. There you go, that sounded better. And so forth. Then so from here you got the Grand Wagoneer, which is to compete with like the Escalade and things like that. But this main competition would be like these, I guess, would be the Tahoe or the Yukon, those other big 7-8, seating SUVs. So the reason why I went from the Series 3 to the Series 2 was that Series 3 that we had, the 2022, I guess is like the most non-desirable Wagoneer that they came out with, which makes sense because I said as soon as we got it that this thing is greatly underpowered. It was I think a 5.7, 5.3, 5.7, something like that. It was just a naturally aspirated 8-cylinder, and it had, it wasn't bad. It was like 390 horse, I think is what it was rated at, but it felt like a heavy vehicle. It felt very underpowered. There was a lot they could have improved on, and I think that's what they did with this. This is a turbo 6-cylinder with about 420 horsepower, and it feels like a lot more than that, especially coming from the Wagoneer, the old Wagoneer Series 3 2022, with the 8-cylinder to the turbo 6. It makes a big difference. Still has that 8-speed automatic, which is butter smooth. Things like the running boards, I hated on the Series 3. They were automatic, so every time I would go around, I'd clean the roof of the car, I'd shut the door, start cleaning this door, or I'd go to it to open up that door to clean that side. But by that point, the side skirts are being pulled up. Things like that are just annoying. This one's pretty base too. I should say the MSRP difference between the old and this one is about it's a lot. It's like $23,000. So going from that high level Series 3 Wagoneer to a mid level, it's going to make a lot more sense on the resale market. Plus the features that this thing has compared to the other one, which is not necessary, such as those running boards, but also on the inside. The old one had the rear seat entertainment, which never worked because you needed to be a subscriber to Amazon Fire or something like that. So the only options this one has is the preferred package, which is the twin bucket seats, which was a must for us because the kids had to be able to walk through. And with the old X7, that was a huge pain because it was a button that you'd push and the seat would go very slowly forward, and it would give you enough space, but it would take forever. So if it's raining or it's cold as hell out, you're sitting there as you're waiting for the seat to go versus just walking right in and walking to the back. And here, there's no sunroof, which I prefer. She liked the sunroof, but whatever, just another thing for me to clean. There's no screen right here, which again was useless on the Series 3. So if you're considering a Wagoneer and you just wanted to haul people in a very comfortable way, I think the Series 2 is the way to go. There's no air suspension, which is, again, she says she used it, but I mean, I don't think she's missing it. These running boards are a little small, I will say that. I have tripped on them like several times, but in the 2,600 miles that this thing has, we've put about 2,400 of that. It's been a very nice ride. I noticed right away the power increase. The ride is, I think, smoother, probably because there's more rubber on the tires than there was on the old ones because the size of the wheels are smaller. I don't know. It's a really great car. I did not use the blow dryer on it. I think that's going to bite me later because you can see water pooling up in these little crevices. I did notice, however, this was my enemy in the old one, this little seam right here. No matter how much I scrubbed, blow dried it, pressure washed it, it just never came clean. It always leaked and dripped and had crap coming out of it. I haven't seen that out of this one yet. So fingers crossed that that's not an issue and that they solved whatever was causing that. Gotta get the boys out here to fix some of this clear wrap. This whole thing is wrapped just like the other one. Might be able to push that in and fix it. I doubt it. Fixed for now. Not really sure what else I can say about it, except I really enjoy the car. The wife likes it, the kids like it. I don't know, I think it's a better looking car than the Tahoe too. We considered one of those, as well as the Yukon, but Yukon dealerships are out of their mind trying to charge over MSRP. And luckily the market's coming down and vehicles are starting to be discounted once more. So finding a vehicle like this is not as hard. You got competition, so dealerships are willing to work with you a little bit more. Everything else on the inside is the same as the other one. Again, very base, but it does the job. How clean that looks. It's a stylish looking vehicle, that's for sure. Door panel's about the same. I think the other one, this was gloss. Oh, I prefer the matte anyway. These running boards are a little small. Not too bad though. Seats are nice and comfortable. Yeah, it's a very nice car. I like it. Alright guys, I'm going to end this video here. As I mentioned earlier, my dad and I have 4 cars coming in this week. Went on a little bit of a shopping spree. He got 2, I got 2. I'll give you a little hint. It's going to help us complete the collection. You see a lot of cars back here. There's a theme, not a theme, there's a common vehicle back here. I'm sure you can figure it out just by looking at it, that we are trying to complete the collection with something that's very nice and Obviously, I guess worthy of being in the collection. This might be a hint right here. That's all I'm going to say, plus another extra one. Didn't really plan for it, but I don't know, it happens. We'll save that for another video, so stay tuned for that. But as always, I do appreciate you watching. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks.